you say, oh, this room is so dark. Why didn't he ever fix that? Are you like me and you just, I say it, but then I don't ever actually do anything about it? I actually had one room in an old house that I used to have, I kept a flashlight in because this one area in the closet was so dark I could never see in it.
And like I said, some people are really on top of it, and they'll call me way before.
We'll talk with Dean about that.
To make a plan.
Also,
it does happen, but most of the time I get calls when there's been a fall,
that old forum?
or they've ended up in a nursing home, and they don't like how they're being treated there. All
a legendary local music venue is getting renamed. The car company Kfi Am has bought the naming rights to the forum in Inglewood. So, what do you think it's going to be called now? Exactly, the Kia Forum. The new name news is expected to be announced on Monday, but you call this a soft opening or a soft announcement? But Kia, the Kia Forum sign already has been put up. News is brought to you this morning by Reader Hero. I think we've got ABC's Jason Nathanson on the line. Jason, can we talk more about Flapgate? I didn't know it was being called Flapgate, but I'm in.
Yeah, I don't know if I am. I thought of... I don't know if I like to take attached to anything anymore. It feels like very 90s, doesn't it?
Partly because I think we're so spread out in this country.
But I guess that's what, there's a hashtag out there. So if there's a hashtag, it's official at this point. It's kind of stuff. Yeah, Will Packer, the producer of The Oscars, was on Good Morning America this morning, talking to TJ Holmes, an interview that they did yesterday in Atlanta, sat down for quite a while. And some of the headlines coming out about that was that Packer said that he did not talk to Will Smith directly the night of the Oscars, that the police were there, and we knew that before. That the police were there. They said basically to Chris Rock, "You want us to arrest him, we'll get him out of here." Chris Rock said no. And that Packer never talked to Will Smith in the direct aftermath. That the Academy wanted Smith to leave. Packer said he was told they were going to physically remove Will Smith. Packer says he was not a part of those conversations, but he immediately went to the Academy leadership that was on site and said, Chris Rock does not want that. So a lot of people have been looking for answers as to why Will Smith was not physically removed from the Oscars. We found out the other day that the Academy had said that they had asked Will Smith to leave and he said no. And so people were saying, well, then why didn't they physically remove him? And so one of the answers to that is Packer saying that that's just what Chris Rock did not want. That he made it clear, and that would make a bad situation worse. So that was kind of coming down from Chris Rock at the time.
Okay, now that is good to know because there were the rumors, of course, that the Academy didn't remove him, and that they went backstage and they talked about it, they couldn't reach a consensus, and so they didn't have him removed. But also there was the guy was going to get, the Oscar, so that's probably why they didn't. It makes me feel better to know that that was Chris Rock's decision, because this whole time I've been thinking how difficult that must have been for Chris Rock to continue that performance, although he was, almost unsaved when he gets slapped on stage, which is crazy. But how he continued that performance, that would be extremely intimidating if I were him, that the person who just watched you is in the front row.
No. He did a fantastic job. And then Will Packer also talked about the fact that then he hoped, knowing that Will Smith was probably going to win, his hope was then by Smith not being removed, that he would get on stage and say it right. That he would apologize to Chris Rock, he would make the whole thing right, and everybody would, forget about it. But that clearly didn't happen.
No, it did not. Now, okay, so going back to the LAPD part, I have not actually read that confirmation until yesterday. So the LAPD was there, they asked Chris Rock, they literally had some officer go to Chris Rock and say, hey, do you want us to press charges against Will Smith or whatever? Do we know how that all went down?
We actually found that out Sunday night. I mean, that came out pretty quickly, that the LAPD confirmed that they were there, that they were on site, which they always are at the Oscars. It wasn't like they were called and they jumped in the car and sped with lights go, we gotta go to the Oscars and get Will Smith. They were there. And so they had a conversation, and they said to him, look, we'll do anything. We'll do whatever you guys want. We'll go in there and arrest him if that's what you want. If you want to press charges. we'll carry him out. And Chris Rock said no. That's not what he wanted. It was never anything that he wanted, so that did not happen.
What a high road. Honestly, this is, we have all seen Chris Rock take on this. Even on stage that night, even saying like, okay, I'm not going to talk about your wife anymore, like I got it. Ever since then, and if the claims are true that he had no idea that Jada Pinkett Smith had alopecia, and he made that joke off the top, it wasn't even part of the planned joke.
By the way, not to interrupt you, but that's another thing that Will Packer said this morning, was that it was completely off script. That the joke was not anything that was written, it was not in the teleprompter, that Will Packer kind of knew that Chris Rock was going to come out there and ad-lib, had no idea what he was going to say, but confirmed this morning that was something that he just walked out there and said.
Okay, so going on that, here's Chris Rock who makes the joke, has no idea that he has just made a joke in very poor taste. Not a clue. So when Will Smith walked on stage, he had to be dumbfounded.
Yeah, I mean, what he knew, he didn't know about the alopecia, and if that's true, and we believe that to be true, although he's not confirmed that, we have not confirmed that from Chris Rock. But if that, he knew that he made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's appearance. So he knew that that's why Will Smith was mad. I'm sure he did not expect to be hit over it.
No.
You know, because it was just a joke that he thought that he had made about this guy and about his wife, and he saw Will Smith coming to the stage. And you see, you know, his body language has been analyzed. There's been a million memes pointing out, you know, how he stood there, hands were behind his back. They said he leaned into it, whatever the case. But that he did not expect Will Smith to actually physically hit him. Nobody in that audience thought. And that's why when Will Smith walked on stage, and Will Packer was saying this morning, that he never in a million years thought that was going to happen, and didn't think that it actually happened. He had to ask Chris Rock afterwards, when Chris Rock came off stage, did he hit you? Because he wasn't sure that it was that. And Packer thought that it was a bit that the two of them had kind of planned.
Right.
But he realized when the cursing started, okay, this is not actually a joke.
Absolutely. Jason, thank you so much for the update on this, and if any more comes out, we'll have you right back on next week.
All right, take it.
Yeah. That's the ABC Station Nathan thing. You could tell. And that's exactly the way I felt when I saw it. I thought, oh, this is totally planned. Except it was Jada Pinkett Smith's reaction in the audience. I went, oh, that's uncomfortable. Because Will Smith was kind of laughing at first. Then he looks over. Clearly Jada has, you know, taken it as any person would who has a medical condition that just got made fun of. You know, you could tell that it is, I'm not going to say, maybe it did hurt her, I don't know. But she did not react well to it. Then when he walked up on stage, that's when I was like, oh, this is a bit. But then, the smack, and Chris Rock, okay, I'm not going to say anything else about your wife, and Will Smith, you know, dropping the F-bombs from the audience, is when I went, oh, good gracious, this is not him. So, anyway, but, you know, I guess, kudos to Chris Rock. You're a comedian, you make fun of people, you're in entertainment, you're in this world, you know that that can happen. That's all part of it, you know, and, you have to have a thick skin. I would bet, if you're, I mean, are you kidding? I will get upset by some of the emails I get, honestly. I can't imagine being an A-list star and getting constantly criticized for the way I look, the way I act, the way I dress, even if it's in a forum like the Oscars. But then when things go down the way they did, no thanks. No thanks, I like being a nobody. It's a lovely little world I live in, and I'd like to stay here. Alright, when we come back, we're going to talk about some lessons in lighting, and oh boy, I think a lot of us need that, because if you've got that dark space in your house or outside or something like that you just go, oh, this space is so dark. Why don't we actually do something about it? Dean will tell us what we should do in just a second. From Southern California Toyota dealers, traffic center, let's go places, we're checking the 15.
The team was 6 foot 5.
No, not 15, that's 15. Good.
Drive down on the southbound side coming out of the high desert. You will see a busy one. So before you escape, ran through the town path as you pass the 138. Continuing toward that place, one loosens up beyond that further stuff on the 15th as you're making your way into the split with the Dakota and the 215 area. Also, it looks like it's still pretty heavy for inspectors 14 southbound as you come back on the split with Fair Block and Highway. Continuing through the Acton and Howard Hill State area, past the Cherokee, in fact, even all the way towards Grand Canyon and beyond as you make way to Newhall. So if I'm the Skyhouse gets there faster, I'm the car this scene.
And if you have any questions or something you want to discuss with us, we'd love to hear from you. Just message us on Instagram or Facebook or Brothers. If you have a legal
but it's going to be busy and crowded, so I'll feel better with it on.
Deep breath. It is open tonight.
Nice. You both survived it, Dad.
Wearing the mask when it can help protect you and others is just one way to keep each other safer. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Hey, Ralph, fresh groceries are always things, so we check your delivery order for freshness at every step from farm to store, and pick and pack every veggie in the free pickup order with care. Because we treat your food the way we want ours to be treated. We're fresh every day, so stop anyway. Well, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
And right now, you can save when you shop and save. You find 6 or more participating sale items, you save 50 cents each with your car. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
So got ready from KFI for the weekend. Looks like it's going to be pretty nice out there. So we'll have mostly sunny conditions today, and it's going to be pretty cool like it was yesterday. Maybe just a couple of degrees warmer. We'll see highs at the beaches in the low to mid 60s to the low 70s inland, dropping into the 60s tonight. More of the same for tomorrow. Then looks like Sunday will be a little bit cooler, but then that just gets us ready for next week when things are going to warm it up, and we should see highs next week. It's back into the 70s and 80s. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones Lee.
Spectrum Mobile is the nation's fastest growing mobile provider. Visit the Spectrum store today and get unlimited data for only $29.99 a month per line, and you get 2 or more lines. No contract, no hidden fees. Our team of mobile experts are ready to help, bring your phone, or choose from the latest devices. Spectrum got you covered. Find your local store at spectrum.com/stores and start saving. Other values for new customers, 2 or more unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet and auto pay required. Restrictions apply.
Parents, we want to do everything we can to give our kids this competitive edge for college admissions.
Today with 1-877 Cars for Kids. We are a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights. Also on the web at carsforkids.com. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of fresh relief. It pays for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the California Army National Guard, aired by the California Broadcasters Association and this station.
Save on your favorite snacks at Whole Foods Market. Get 20% off fully dried mango and mango strips through April 5th, plus an extra 10% off for plan numbers while supplies last. Learn more on the Whole Foods Market app.
No kidding. There she is.
This is Jacob and Ronnie. If you've been in an accident, call 844-24-JACOB.
KFI
AM 640.
and iHeart radio station.
More stimulating talk.
Optimization and cognitive training. Okay, so brain optimization is training the brain exactly the way that an athlete would be trained for excellence. Great, so let's take the tennis, for example.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart radio app on a Friday morning. I'm glad you're here with me. Our weekend has fun to rise. I'm Jennifer Jones Lee, and some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Americans have volunteered to help Ukraine expel the Russian invaders. The LA Times reports some people with no military experience have been turned away, while others have been sent to a 4-week training program. Experienced soldiers have been welcomed. One American veteran who volunteered has attracted a social media following with accounts of destroying Russian tanks and liberating a Ukrainian village. Ukraine has not said how many American volunteers are serving there or if any have been killed or wounded. The foster father of 5 of the 13 Turpin siblings who were rescued from California's House of Horrors, as they call it, has now been charged with molesting 2 of them. Court documents show Marcelino Olguin allegedly touched 2 of the sisters inappropriately. He is also charged to have forcibly kissed the girl. And U.S. unemployment numbers just came out. The U.S. added 431,000 jobs in March, and analysts say that's a sign of a resilient economy, and unemployment now has fallen to a pandemic low of 3.6%. News is brought to you by Reuters Hero. Let's say good morning now to KFI's House Whisperer, Dean Sharp. You can follow Dean on social media, at Home with Dean. And you can listen to him tomorrow morning from 6 to 8 here on KFI. Sunday from 9 to 11. Dean, lighten my life today.
Good morning, Jen.
Hey, go ahead.
Before we start, can I just give a quick shout out?
Yeah,
to Miss Carmen at Bridges Elementary School in Thousand Oaks.
Hi, Miss
I just
Carmen.
learned a couple of days. Miss Carmen is Olivia, our granddaughter's kindergarten teacher.
Oh,
And,
I love it.
And I just learned a couple of days ago that she listens to you in the mornings.
Oh,
and,
no
and she
way.
listens to us in the mornings. And so I just wanted to give her a shout out to
Visual processing speed, really important.
just say, you know what, you're our hero, because I love kids. I love kids, but the thought of spending every day herding cats with a group of kindergartners day in, day out, that takes a special calling and a gift, and she's got it in spades.
Oh, that is huge. Miss Carmen, first off, good morning to you, and thank you for listening. And secondly, Dean is so right. I don't know how you do it. I've got my nephews, and I love those boys. I love those boys with every fiber of my heart. But at the end of the day, I sometimes want to take their socks off them and tie them to chairs. I mean, I gotta be honest, like, exactly. She's awesome. Okay, so how can you help light up her life? I feel like we need some Linda Ronstadt in the background here.
Oh, yeah. So lighting is a thing that I gotta say is probably one of the more frustrating parts of our job, just as far as helping people through it. Mostly because so many folks get so much bad lighting advice these days. Everybody goes with the trends of like, oh, I need more recessed can lights in my house, or they follow what an electrician wants to do during their remodel. And I just got to tell you, I want everybody to press pause on the lighting game and learn a little bit more about the principles of lighting before you spend more money than you need to, or spend money in the wrong place on that remodel or those changes in lighting that you're doing in your house. Number one, talk to a lighting designer. Okay, it works the same way in the world of lighting that it does everywhere else. I say every single weekend on the program, general contractors are awesome. They're there to build your plan and to do it well, and they have some good advice and ideas along the way. But generally speaking, general contractors are not designers. Well, electricians are not lighting designers by default. And so I just want everybody to be aware of that and to get real good lighting advice as we go. So that's actually what we're spending both Saturday and Sunday show this weekend. It's an all lighting principles weekend.
Okay, tell Dean why, because I know I am guilty of this. Why is it that, you know, a lot of our houses, I know my mother is guilty of this, so I am my mother's daughter. But we'll have a space in the house and we go, oh, this part of the house is so dark. And literally we'll have a flashlight in the corner of that room because we know we can't even see into the closet or something in that area. And so we just go along with it. How about, like you talked about last week when we were talking about stealing your neighbor's light, how about helping us fix that stupid corner that we all have in the house that has no light in it? What do we do?
Okay, get a lamp. Yeah. I mean it. I really mean it. Here's what you don't do. You don't automatically assume, you know what, we need to just add some recessed can lights in this room, in this living room. Let's add 6 or 8 or 10 of them, and we're not going to have any more dark spots in this living room. I get it. I understand that. But you got to know a couple of things about recessed lighting. Number one, overhead recessed lighting, the least friendly lighting to human beings and their faces. Take that flashlight you're talking about, Dan, put it directly over your head, and then pose for a lovely photo with all the shadows and the weirdness. I mean, that's like Halloween lighting. Okay?
Yeah.
So one of the things that Dean is sort of famous for, other than speaking of himself in the third person, is the idea that he actually, I mean, I love recessed can lights. I love lighting design, but I want to remove most recessed can lights from most non-utility areas. I want them in the kitchen, we'll put them in the bathroom, we'll put them anywhere we've got a serious workspace. But romantic spaces, and I don't just mean a space where, you make out with your significant other. I just mean spaces where we spend time romantically in the sense of mood and, all of that. Romantic spaces should not be lit from overhead like a gymnasium ceiling. So yeah, if you have a dark corner, your first choice should be, and your least expensive choice, and your most flexible choice should be, what kind of a lamp might we put into that corner of the room? Because lamps have all sorts of different features to them and flexibility. We'll talk about that this weekend as well. People need to relearn or familiarize themselves with what lamps are capable of doing. There are downlights, there are reading lamps, there are uplights, and depending on the configuration and the purpose of the lamp, you can find a lamp that will do exactly what you need to do for most corners of most habitable rooms.
Okay, and I don't think my parents are listening right now, but they did all can lights in their living room because they thought, oh, it's so dark in here. Their house is kind of in the woods, and it is very dark. I mean, they're surrounded by trees. And, but I always say, like, if we're going to take a family photo, I'll say, oh, let's take it, outside, or let's whatever. Because we took a couple of pictures in that room, and you're absolutely right. I looked so weird. I was yellow. It was weird. I kind of thought to myself, like, well, guys, that was a great idea, but you just spent a ton of money, and the lighting's weird in here.
Yeah, what's the old phrase? I'm probably going to get this wrong because it's so early in the morning. But, to somebody who only has a hammer, every problem is a nail. Right? So the thing is with electricians, they like to put in recessed can lights. And you know what? It does solve the lighting problem. It just doesn't do it the right way, and it creates a whole new set of stuff. Now, let me be clear on this. I am not against recessed can lights inside a room like a living room or a family room. But here is the thing. What I use recessed can lights for in a room like that is to wash the walls with light, to light up art and or family photos and or whatever is going on the walls. You do not use them to light general floor space. Okay? Accent the wall. And that brings us to just one simple point. There are only two kinds of lights out there. Only two. Okay? Lights that are designed to be looked at themselves, that they draw attention to themselves. Classic example would be a chandelier. It's all bling, and not only does it light the area, but it draws attention and says, look at me! The other kind of light is like a recessed can light, which is not designed to draw any attention to itself whatsoever. It's just about the light that it gives. And the problem with most recessed can lights in most rooms is they create glare on a ceiling, especially if you buy the trims at like a big box store where you get this surface mount lens where the actual light source is right there on the ceiling. There's no way to avoid glare when it comes to those recessed can lights because in fact the light itself is not recessed. It is now right on the surface of the ceiling. And that glare is annoying, the light is stagnant, and it's not a good look.
Going back to what you were saying about lamps and the flexibility with lamps, I would also say that getting an electrician to come over and put in any sort of light, whether it's the recess cans or whatever, versus going to whatever store and getting a lamp, that's just a huge savings in just solves the problem.
It's a massive savings, and you've solved a major problem, or you've avoided a problem also. And the thing with lamps, again, they are romantic. And when I say the word romantic, I mean that they don't just sell all shadow. You don't want that. That's one thing that's just wrong with most people's philosophy of lighting in a room. You don't want to get rid of all the shadows. You don't want to get rid of all the dark zones. Now, you don't want a whole corner of the room in darkness. Agreed. But shadows are key to bringing out texture in furniture, contours in walls, the texture of stonework in a room or of woodwork. We want that interplay of light and dark together. Lamps do that beautifully. Overhead lights tend to dispel all shadow.
You are awesome, and people can learn more of their lessons in life this weekend. Are you talking?
There she is.
There she is, right there. So, somewhere out there, June, when I was about, I don't know, 3 or 4, I guess, still kind of learning to talk, that sort of thing, there is a cassette that I've heard of myself, and I couldn't really form words that well, and I sang the song, You Light Up My Wife.
Do well on the SAT.
I would take such good money for that cassette.
It's here. I mean, it's out in my storage somewhere there. But yes, and I told my mom, I'm like, why did you do that? And she goes, exactly for this reaction when 20 years later, when you heard it for the first time.
Every time we do something like that embarrassing to one of the kids, I just say, hey, this is a wedding video. Just know that. We're saying this is for the wedding reception, right? That's when you get to pull out every embarrassing thing that ever got recorded at the time.
It is so true. Dean, thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye. That is KFI's House Whisperer, Dean Sharp. Like I said, follow him on social media, At Home with Dean, and you can check him out tomorrow morning, 6 to 8, and Sunday morning from 9 to 11. And no, you will never hear You Light Up My Wife. Which I apparently also thought I was very cute and funny, and at the end where it was You Give Me Hope, I told my dad, You Give Me Headache. I know, but I was that kid, you guys. Oh, my poor parents. Alright, and I just talked back about them. Oh, I'm a horrible person. Alright, when we come back, I've got a couple big bite stories for you, including one about sticky peanut butter. So if you've got that in your cabinet right now, you're going to want to hear this story because it's been recalled. Some of it has. And also, I've got some pranks for you for April Fool's Day that you can play on your friends and your coworkers. One has to do with an air horn and a chair. But I love this idea, and I only wish that I could play it on somebody today. When we come back, we'll talk about that. But right now, let's take one more look at your drive, and Nick Caliotini now is checking out a crash in Alhambra.
As you come up on the 710, actually affecting the 10 West transition to the 710 South. Now, looking at the delays, it's going to be busy for you on the westbound side of the 10 as you make your way from Ramona, a rather new avenue. 10 westbound going to be busy for you as you make your way toward the 710. Although some delays for you along the 710 North, leaving the 10 toward Valley Boulevard, so you may have to do the 710, or rather the 10 West to the 710 North if affected. If you have an update on this, time to 50 on yourself on keyword K5 traffic. 60 westbound is an alternate to the 10 westbound. Looks good off the 605 to the 710. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm the Power Team. As the rate of COVID-19 infections continues to decline across the country, some parents wonder if they should vaccinate their young children. We asked Dr. Sarah Susan, the Network Medication Safety Officer for Honor Health in Scottsdale, about the importance of vaccines for children.
Yeah, I mean, my advice to parents is to get your child vaccinated when you look at the data and how these vaccines came to market and also how the post-market surveillance is ongoing. I feel really comfortable with the safety of these vaccines in children. It appears that kids fare a little better than it is, but just in January alone, there were like 2 million COVID cases among kids. So it's happening for sure, and setting up your kids for success, right? Giving them the best shot at avoiding a severe issue and a potential long-term complication that we don't yet know of when you get the disease, I think is really important.
To find COVID-19 vaccines and boosters near you. Check out vaccines.gov.
This report is sponsored by Simple Green. Warmer weather and longer days means it's time to start enjoying your backyard again. Simple Green has all the products you need to tackle your entire spring cleaning to-do list. From decks and patios to walls, siding, walkways, and more. See where to buy at simplegreen.com.
This is Chris Collinsworth. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings.
The Lakers wrapped up their road trip with a loss to the Spurs. Russell Westbrook had a team-high 24 points. They're back on the outside, looking in with the Spurs holding a tiebreak for the final spot into the play-in. The Clippers couldn't close out their Bulls in overtime, but they kept their spot in the play-in. And the Rams bolstered their defense by inking Pro Bowl linebacker Bobby Wagner to a 5-year deal. I'm Mr. Jordan.
Download the DraftKings app and use code SPORTS to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. The podcast, What's Your Problem, dives deep into new technology and the challenges facing people at the top of their field. On each episode, Jacob Goldstein, former co-host of NPR's Planet Money, speaks with the entrepreneurs and engineers creating innovations in medicine, artificial intelligence, and more.
We didn't have a technology, we didn't have a business model, we didn't have a way of making money. It was a great way to start a company. We didn't have a way to make money.
Listen to What's Your Problem on the iHeart Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Donate your car today with 1-877-CARS for Kids. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights. Also on the web at carsforkids.com. 1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your car today. Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Owning a business comes with pressure. There's a limit to what I can do and still keep employees engaged. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30-plus years of HR experience to work to help me with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance, while giving my employees competitive benefit options. And because I'm able to focus on other priorities, my employees can thrive and my business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Opening week presented by Bank of America continues Friday, April 15th when the Dodgers face the Reds at 7:10. Be sure to stay after the game for the first Friday night fireworks of the season featuring music from the 60s. Visit Dodgers.com/promotion.
Has your business been the target of an ADA non-compliance lawsuit? Then there are 2 calls to make: your attorney and our court, the ADA compliance and certification expert. Go to ADAGurus.com, ADAGurus.com.
I'm Susan Owen, managing partner at Owen Patterson & Owen. I have 30-plus years in personal injury alone. If you are a client of Owen Patterson & Owen, I will be your attorney. You've been injured, help 888-OPO win. And we do. Go to OPOlaw.com.
Portions of the following program will be recorded. There are people that will not get on an airplane. I'd rather drive for 3 days.
Even though the chances of getting into a fatal car crash are, I don't know, 1,000 times?
That's a phobia. I used to think, what happens if this plane crashes?
Still handle.
George Lori and I, when we've gone on the same flight, our discussion is if the plane goes down, who gets top billing?
Morning from 6 to 10 on KFI.
And a little bit of big
likes. And so by the time they finish the program, they're actually focusing on those 20 straight minutes. So you have to start small with attention and then increase so that then they can sustain their attention. Even the brain cards work on sustaining that attention because that's a big deck of cards that they have to really, they have to stay with
Every
that.
640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Welcome to your wake-up call. I'm Jennifer Stone-Lee, and some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Ukrainian authorities say Russian troops have abandoned the contaminated Chernobyl nuclear site. They say the troops were exposed to radiation while digging trenches at the site of the world's worst nuclear accident. An international atomic watchdog has not verified the claim. A body's been found in Griffith Park. The LA Fire Department was called last night about 7 to help park rangers in recovering the body. Officials say it was found near the old LA Zoo, and investigators in Montclair say they're trying to figure out how some gas cylinders exploded. at an industrial facility. At least 4 people were injured. They evacuated the surrounding homes for a few hours because gas kept leaking from one of the containers. Well, let's get a couple of big bites in here for you this morning. Skippy is recalling thousands of jars of peanut butter over concerns the product could be contaminated by small fragments of stainless steel that was off of a piece of manufacturing equipment. The affected jars are Skippy reduced fat peanut butter spread and Skippy creamy peanut butter blended with plant protein. They have use-by dates of May 2023 on them. Now, the products were sold in 18 states, including California, New York, and New Jersey. Kind of funny story from IKEA. IKEA will pay you to get its old furniture back. I just want to know if they're like, take the Unencumbered and unscrew that, and then take the, roof and hoopin and pack it into a box. If you just don't like maybe that old bookcase or dining chairs or something's mismatched, so IKEA says that it's making a buy-back and resell program permanent across 37 stores. And so now you can go ahead and return things like office drawer cabinets, sideboard bookcases, small tables, multimedia furniture, cabinets, dining tables, desks, and chairs, and stools without upholstery. They say that the program does not extend to non-IKEA branded products or beds, sofas, mattresses, home furnishings, or leather products. But hey, at least they're offering this buyback, and they say that you can get it in very good condition. You can get a 40% credit, and well-used condition, you can get a 30% credit. So that's kind of good. All right, as far as pranks today, again, today is April 1st, and I want you to be aware of April Fool's jokes out there. People all over are going to try and trick family and friends and co-workers. Now, there's some prank ideas that are floating around online. One includes charging a person or changing a person's birthday on Facebook. A friend of mine did this. So his wife was flooded with celebration messages, and she was literally writing back to every single person. Thank you for the birthday wishes, but today is not my birthday. Like, what a pain in the butt, and how good on him. Also, moving items around the house. I kind of like that one. If your spouse comes downstairs this morning and all of a sudden you've got, the armchair in a different spot, and it's sleepy, and I think it's is it me? That's a good one. How about this one? You can also put salt in the silver bowl. Okay, that's mean. So somebody put salt in their coffee this morning. Some people say they'll put the please use other door sign at work entrances so you make the person walk around the building. I kind of like that one. Online, I found a few. So what about this one? There's a balloon prank stakeout where, say that there's a big piece of glass in a door that you can normally see through. Instead, just put a whole bunch of balloons up there. It's going to make it look like the entire room is filled with balloons, when really it's just sort of a sheet of balloons behind the glass on the door. Now, there was one I told you about that I thought was hilarious. Attaching an air horn to somebody's chair. So most of us have chairs that when you sit in them, there's a little bit of give, right? And they go down just a little bit when you're at work. So what you do is you put the air horn underneath the chair cushion. So the person's not going to see it. They're going to walk in and just see the top of the seat of their chair. Sit down like normal. When they do, and that chair gives, how funny is that? I'm totally okay with it. You can tape a little piece of paper on somebody's mouth, on the underside of somebody's mouth where the little ball is, so that it doesn't work. And then when they finally flip it over to see what's going on, you can have like a little, April Fool thing on there. If you are somebody who has some time this morning before you go to work, this one's mean and funny all at the same time. Caramel apples, right? So you grab usually a green apple, and you stick a stick in the top, and you dip it in the caramel, and then it hardens, right? What if you added a few onions in there instead? So you have caramel onions, and then somebody bites into it. That one's just cool, but I still think it's hilarious. How about hanging pictures of other world leaders on the wall where your friends, your coworkers are? So, there's a picture of Bob from accounting over there, and there's, my manager Sam, and how in the world did Kim Jong-un get on the wall? Crazy stuff like that. I love these. So today, if you have a chance to play a prank on somebody, why not? right? This is your opportunity. I am giving you the okay to screw around with people today. This is KFI and KOSTHD2, Los Angeles, Nick Valley, tuning. You just better be glad I don't work at the same office you do.
Literally, as I was sending you the tease, that's exactly what I said. I am glad I'm not in the same office with you. So, anyway, checking the drive then. It's going to be a mess for folks as they're making their way to the Fullerton area. Southbound side of the 57 past Chapman Avenue. Looks like truck and maybe an SUV or a big rig got into it anyway. Not to be clear on the details, what I can tell you is that the southbound side of the 57 is going to be really rough for your ride right now. Coming away from Imperial Highway as you get out of the Brea area through Fullerton, continuing towards Chapman Avenue. Then after that, just talking about anything that's slowing you down. Town 50 yourself on keyword is terrified traffic. Westbound 91 as you make way through the Corona area. Still going from Green River and you head toward the 241 Toll Road. Nothing, but that's really it to start things out for your morning drive, at least heading toward Orange County. Still seeing problems through your drive. And making it through, no, it looks like lanes are clear. Hamburg 10 West transition to the 710 southbound. That's clear the lanes are connected. It's still a bit busy for you. 10 West I need to approach to 710. KFI just got to help get there faster. I'm Nick Collier. Joining us today, Scott Painter, CEO and co-founder of Autonomy. It's a new company. It's right here in LA that offers self-subscription. Scott, why is subscription a thing that is going to be the next way for people to get into this market? The whole idea behind a subscription was being able to simplify the transaction and make it easier for the customer. You don't have to go into all of the offline paperwork, signing certificate, everything that's happening on your phone. You're in control of the entire transaction. You can sign up and get the thing in 10 minutes. And all you need to be able to get a subscription is a valid driver's license and a digital form of payment. So you can put this entire thing on your credit card. You don't have to go out and apply for debt and get approved and weighed and measured and all of that.
Buying a car also seems so cumbersome when you think about all that goes into it. This seems to be a super easy way to get you into the Tesla Model 3.
What you're saying is that buying a car is a high-friction experience for most people. This means you only to truly get a car in a truly digital way.
Well, thank you on behalf of all people like me who want to Tesla but want to do it cheap and easy. I'm excited about it.
We're unbelievably tangled with the IRS just wouldn't work with me. Then Optima got involved, and I know they really got involved. Optima Tax Relief is A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. It's like having two lives, the one before Optima Tax and the one after. Do you want to call Optima now for a free consultation. Call 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055. Optima Tax Relief.
At a great price, stop by Cedar Brothers Full Service Meat Counter. Fresh, clean, sliced bacon is just $4.99 a pound. And the frosted pork serves are only $1.99 a pound. Visit our website for more great deals now for Tuesday at Cedar Brothers Market.
Download the DraftKings app and use code SPORTS to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions. DraftKings.com for details.
310-7113.
Here's SoCal Weather from KFI. We have a